What is up, my thrifty friends? Tabs here from the Urban Goddess shop. Welcome back to my channel. It has been a hot minute since I've done a work with me video. I skipped last week, but here we are today. So if you are new, work with me videos, I keep you company, you get work done, and we talk some reseller related news. I have a few questions and I have a few news things. I have one Posh update, so I'm very excited about that. Finally, something that we can talk about. If you're new to my channel, I am a Canadian reseller. I'm a mom to 2 girls, a wife. I work part-time in a hospital pharmacy, and I love to sell used clothing. It is my jam here on YouTube, and I share everything about my business, helping you grow a side hustle reselling as well. So let's jump into the life update, and then we're going to go into the work with me portion. So life update, things are busy. I feel like that's just life. That's just how it is. I did work 2 days last week at the tuberculosis clinic. I also work part-time or casual, I guess, at the tuberculosis clinic. Lots of people think that tuberculosis isn't a thing, that this is like an old disease, but it's actually alive and kicking, and in a couple parts of Canada we're on tuberculosis outbreak in our northern communities. So I do work casual at, we call it the TB clinic, and just helping getting all the meds ready and getting them shipped up north to the communities. So I don't mind working there. It's kind of like, to me, it's like the retirement position that people want. It's busy, but it's like very repetitive, and I enjoy the pharmacy assistant that I work with there, so it's just always a good day. And then we also had a short week because it was a holiday and I didn't get any listing done. I have been sourcing, but I didn't get any listing done. But I had photographed stuff on Friday before we left for the weekend. But I actually put up some listings on Saturday while we were away, and I put in like the measurement section in the listing, and I just didn't fill it out. So I was like, when I get home, I'll fill that out, put my inventory number, and then put it away. And that's what I did last night when we had gotten home. But it worked really well. I think I'm gonna do that more often. And I've kind of switched up the way I'm processing things. So what I'm doing now, because I'm recording thrift with me instead of thrift hauls, it's a lot easier for me because I don't have to categorize and like segregate my inventory when I get home. Everything that once it's home, you guys have already seen it. So I have one rack where I hang them up right away, and that's going to be this rack now. And then I'm doing like batches of 10, and I want to try and have 20 items photographed, and they'll sit on this rack now. So the stuff in the front is personal stuff that I need to figure out if I'm keeping or selling. And then I have a section of items that have already been photographed that are ready to list anytime I have time, or if I want to do it remotely when I'm not at home, I can create those listings and then just do the measurements and inventory numbers. I feel like this is not a new way. I feel like so many people list this way and this is how they run things. I just never did it this way because I honestly am a quick lister. Like, I can list really quickly. In 2.5 hours, I put up 24 listings this morning. So it doesn't bug me, and I feel like I never had a reason to try and list, I guess on the weekends or in the evening or things like that. But just because we've been so busy, and sometimes I like to do my like YouTube stuff during the day, and then I'm just not having enough hours during the day to do reselling. So in all honesty, I'm probably reselling even less hours, and then my sales are down, and it's like, well, my sales are down because I'm probably not listing things. But yeah, I got 10 listings up this weekend, and then I just did 24 today. So that was good. 35 listings in the last 3 days, and I'm good with that. I'm going to try and have one more solid day of listing. We are going to do a death pile shoe haul, and I think I'm going to put it out on Wednesday because my challenge to myself is to have all my shoes listed by next Friday. And I don't even know, I probably have about 30 pairs of shoes to list, and like boots, like substantial, like $100 items, like Blundstones, AS98s, bed stews, like Doc Martens ×2, Birkenstocks. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I hate listing shoes. I don't know why. I don't even like clean them extra. I just don't like listing them. But I'm going to show you guys that video, and that is setting the intention that I'm going to get those all listed. So yeah. And then What else? On the weekend, we're working on our ambulance. We're almost done wrapping the outside, which has been a really big thing. We have a couple more exterior projects. Then I think we're going to start moving inside. I'm really excited. Our goal is to be able to use it this fall and go camping. So if you don't already follow the channel, I have to shout it out, you guys. I feel like the videos are getting much better now that I'm not using content that was like recorded a year ago. And Jeff is like coming into his own, and I'm just so proud of him because he truly is an introvert. He's not like, he does not throw himself like out into the public eye. He's very reserved, and him and I in many sense are like polar opposites, and I think that's why we're so good together. I help him get through life being the extrovert, and yeah, it's been good. We're having fun. He came home. I actually don't show him the videos that I edit. I just upload them. Like they're there. And if he watches them, he watches them. He came home last week one day and he's like, I just watched the new video. He's like, Tab, it's so good. He's like, you're getting so good at editing them. And it's such a different type of content. So there's definitely a learning curve, and I'm hoping that parts of it will start to transfer over into my Thrift With Me videos here. So in that sense, it's kind of like vlog type material. But I enjoy doing that. I actually am starting to enjoy that more than talking head type stuff. And I think it's just like talking head is when I sit here and talk to you guys. I just think I've been doing this for 3 years now, and it's just, I don't want to say burnt out, but it's just trying to always find stuff can be really difficult, especially when there's not a lot happening. So yeah, anyways, I'm just like spilling my beans here, but that's everything kind of going on in my life right now. And taxes are done, just waiting for him to call me back to go sign everything. And yeah, just trying to get everything in order. That is everything. That's like business, that's life, that's everything going on with me right now. Yeah, it's been busy. But okay, one more thing. I think my shifts are going to get really sparse at work over the next bit. I know I've said this a couple times, but I think it's going to get sparse. So I need to hunker down into my reselling, and I'm going to take the days that I get where they don't phone me to come to work and work on growing my business some more. And part of it is just like listing the things that I have, getting through my death piles, trying to get to like 0, and then having a controlled death pile, whereas like these are controlled items. These are items I'm choosing to hold on to right now. I'd like to be in that situation where right now it's just like, I feel like it's out of control. I have so much inventory. It's out of control right now. Okay, that's enough. We are going to jump into the work with me portion. And this is where I kind of tackle topics that we all have, where I tackle topics that are just relevant to us all. First one, it's actually a question, and I have to ask it because in one of my last thrifting videos, I tried on a pair of Sorel boots without socks on. I just slipped off my sandals, put on the boots, they fit, I bought them. And I had a couple comments on the video, and then I also got a couple DMs where people were like shocked that I was trying on these boots bare feet, and I guess I was like, what's the problem? I don't get it. How come it was so shocking? And like, I think like we all go to public pools. I will take off my sandals in the grass. Like if we're at a soccer field playing with the kids or out with the dogs, I'll kick my shoes off and go barefoot in the grass. Like I walk on beaches, like I'm very comfortable barefoot, and that kind of stuff doesn't really bug me, but I'm curious why it freaked out some of you guys, or maybe you were thinking it and you didn't comment, but I'm thinking it's like foot fungus, warts, like I'm thinking those kind of things. I don't know. But just so you guys know, warts are actually more common in kids. Adults don't catch them as common, and they're actually like a genetic predisposition. So you're either predisposed to carry the warts virus or to have warts or not. So not necessarily like trying on boots, but yeah, I don't know. I was just curious as to what was wrong with that, because I don't think twice about it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It made me laugh, and I was like, I have to ask because I'm maybe there's some like freaky reason that I don't know about, but I'm thinking that's what people were concerned about, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. Okay, first question. Jessica asked if I notice any type of difference in sales on eBay between US customers versus Canadian customers, like the items that they purchase. So I do sell on eBay. That's the only platform I sell on that goes cross-border, that's North American basically. I used to ship worldwide, but I don't think I have that turned on anymore. I think I just do North American. I keep thinking to myself, I need to open it up worldwide, but I just never do it. But yeah, I do like this question. I like these types of questions. It's a chance for me to share something about my business that maybe I haven't shared before. So I do sell to 95% US customer base on eBay. I only make a couple sales here and there to Canadians. And the brands that I find that don't do very well for me would be Levi's and Free People. My Aritzia stuff does really well, and my Lululemon stuff does really good as well. And the other thing I had noted here, I actually sell a lot of Aritzia stuff to the US. So I know people don't find it as often, but I think it's slowly coming into the US. I did hear that they were going to be opening more stores in the US because it's doing so well here in Canada. But yeah, I don't see a lot of difference, and I cross-list majority of the items that I sell on Poshmark. I cross-list over to eBay now, and it's pretty even. Now I have started sourcing things specifically for eBay, and those would be items that have a certain sell-through rate based on eBay's sell-through rate, not necessarily Poshmark. So I did pick up a Joseph Ribkoff blazer type floral jacket last week, and that is for eBay, although I'll list it to Poshmark and then cross-list it over there. So we'll see which platform it sells on. What else? Yeah, I don't see much difference. I'm not sourcing, like, if I'm sourcing specific stuff for eBay, it's just like eBay in general when I look up the item and sell-through rate. Like another brand that I will source specifically, I think more for eBay now than I will Posh, is Ariat. The sell-through rate on eBay is really high, holds really good value. But yeah, I don't think there's really a difference between Canada and US in that sense. And I think if I was a US based seller and I had access to a lot of different US based brands, maybe I would see a difference. But a lot of the brands that I'm sourcing and selling are brands that are pretty readily available in the US as well for consumers. Another thing I wanted to share on here is that I was considering opening up a Posh US closet and also doing a Whatnot US live sale. So we drive through the city of Lethbridge, which is in southern Alberta, whenever we go out to our mountain place, and they have a cross-border courier there. And I was kind of talking with Danica Thrifty Stew, and I was like, hey, I could do a Whatnot sale on the US side and just do it the night before we drive through, and then just package up all the items and take them, drop them off to the courier the next day. Or I could have a US closet, maybe turn on sales for a day or two, and ship those out. Like, I was trying to like work around, like, how do I get a US based closet or a US based Whatnot to open up sales to I guess the US, because right now the only way to do it is through eBay. But yeah, I've had some thoughts about that. It would take a little bit more figuring out on my end, and the courier, I think I have to have the items there by 3 o'clock. So that's the only other kind of issue in the whole plan, is that it's hard for me to be there by 3 o'clock in the afternoon coming from home. But you may see something in the future. So yeah, that would open up to the US. Okay. Next question. What are your thoughts on buyers that like a bunch of your items and never make an offer or buy when you send them offers to likes? For example, I have a lot of buyers that like 10 plus items for my closet. I'll send them an offer and then I don't hear back, yet they'll continue to like more and more items, clogging up my news feed. They've wasted my time sending offers to likes and no real intention of buying. I'm not talking about the buyers that like one item and don't buy. I'm referring to the ones that like 10 items and never buy and keep liking more. Is it worth blocking them so you don't have to deal with fake likes? Have you encountered this kind of buyer and what would you do? Oh my gosh, I laughed out loud when I read this comment because I do think that this is something that bugs people when they're first starting out selling, and it may be seasoned resellers, but it personally doesn't bug me. I would block them. If anything bugs me, I just block them. I don't have to deal with it. That's the joy of like blocking. That's the joy of social media. That's the joy of your computer and your phone, is that you can block out people that you don't want to have access to you. And like back in the day, in the 90s, if you didn't want to have access to someone, you just didn't see them. You didn't call them. You didn't run into them, right? Like you avoided them. On social media and online platforms, it's a little bit harder, but blocking is your best tool to protect yourself. So if something is just like driving you nuts, taking up your energy, I personally would just block them. Now, I will state though, again, it doesn't really bug me. I use automation and I'm sure my automation spams them with offers when it's like 20% off, 30% off, 40% off. They probably also get spammed when I use my shoppers feature to run any of my sales. So yeah, I feel like the spamming probably goes both ways, and I would just block them. If it bugs you, just block them, but I wouldn't put too much thought into it. I would put more focus on listing good quality items and finding the customers that want to make purchases from you. Next question. I'm wondering if you could talk about the closet score that Poshmark Sidekick calculates for you now. And okay, so I have to just correct this. Posh Sidekick doesn't calculate this. This score is actually in the background of Poshmark's coding. So Poshmark actually scores each of us. So it's not Sidekick scoring. They're just pulling that data from the information. And wondering if there's a business model depending on your closet score. For example, I have a small closet and I'm a relatively new seller. My closet score is 515. Posh Sidekick developers say if your closet score is 3,000 plus, Poshmark may promote your listing's closet differently from closets with a score below 3,000. You earn 5 points per sale no matter the price, earnings of sale. So she's wondering if people with a closet score below 3,000 should focus a little more on quantity over higher ASP, and then once your closet reaches a score of 3,000, switch to focusing on higher ASP items, and then just wondering your thoughts. Okay, yes, I am a bit familiar with the closet scores and rankings, and Erica and I had some pretty in-depth discussions about them. She is one of the founders of Posh Sidekick. I do believe that there is a score type system that they're pulling from the data. I mean, I don't want to say I believe, I know there's a scoring type system. I don't know how Posh uses it to rank us, because I feel like maybe the scoring correlates with your Posh Ambassador 1 and 2, and naturally when you've made X amount of sales, listed so many items, blah blah, like meeting all their criteria, you're probably going to start to have a higher score. So in general, I would probably just work towards Posh Ambassador or Posh Ambassador 2. I don't think that you need to be one to be a seller or to make sales. I think what trumps like everything, the most important thing for you to grow your business is to sell things that people want, right? So in-demand brands, styles, and material types, those three things will take your sales much further than anything else. A quick way to up your score, if it's something that you are concerned about, would be probably to do live shows if you're just trying to get those. But I don't think that score correlates in the sense that you're thinking. I think it may have small boosts, but I would still put all my focus on finding items that people want. researching brands and styles, looking up solds, following trends, comp searching everything that you grab. I believe that you can have a 50 item closet, and if you sell items that people are looking for and are in demand, you could have 100% sell-through rate. You could turn $1,000 a week just by always having items that people want. I think sometimes people, when they resell, they almost play a game of like probability or rolling the dice, like this might sell, it'll sell eventually, someone will pick it up eventually, where I do try and focus a little bit more on items that I think will sell relatively quickly, that are in demand. So in the business model sense, I think it depends on what you're picking up and what you're selling. I don't think the score has the weight in your success the way maybe you're thinking it does. And that's just my personal opinion. This is not like fact-based. I don't know. I guess it's easy for me to say because I have a high closet score, right? So I may get preferenced, but I do know people that have small closets, that have small scores, that do very well. And their focus is just selling things that are in really high demand. So that's probably the most important part. I hope that answers your question. I think like the most important thing to be successful is to sell items that people want. At the end of the day, that's the only way you're going to make sales, is selling things that people are actively looking for and buying on whichever platform you're selling on. Okay, next, I received a couple comments actually about this video, and I thought it was worth bringing up because if you haven't watched it already, I think you should check it out. So Spending Under 30 did a recent video on Posh promoted closets. I highly recommend watching it. I'll pop the link down below. I'll also pop it up top here. They did a very analytical breakdown of their experience with Posh promoted closets, and from their view, they did not find it worth it. They had some really good data. They had really good points to look at. It was really good. So if you are curious on promoted closets and don't have access to them yet, like myself, I would check out their video. And the funny thing is, like, I can't give a personal opinion on it yet because I haven't used it on my closet, and I'm really waiting to get access to practice, play with it, try different things, and see if it works for my business. And then obviously I will share it with you guys as soon as I have some answers. And I've heard really mixed reviews, so they didn't have a good experience, but I've read a couple online where people like broke down their data, broke down their sales, what they would have spent, things like that, and they saw good success with it. So it's just, it's so hit and miss. I think only time will tell, and Poshmark's definitely going to have to, tune it up and get all the bugs worked out of it. But yeah, what I have been using in the meantime is Posh Sidekick's promoted listings, and I've been putting on items with the highest amount of likes, and it seems to be moving the items within a few weeks. I am trying to avoid small sizes, like really small sizes when promoting, and trying to pick, items that have a larger demographic of shoppers. But I'm going to say it's been working for me based on the listings I've promoted, what's been selling, and how quickly it's been selling. I'm going to say I think that it has been working for me, and it is $14.99 USD a month, and you get to promote 7 listings at a time. So I'm happy with that service. I do obviously want to try Poshmark's promoted closets, but in the meantime, I still have some sort of promotion thing working for my closet. And then lastly, the new Poshmark feature. And I'm actually kind of excited about it. I don't know if I will use it that much, but I do think it's going to be a good feature for shoppers. And the new feature that they had told us about that's finally coming out is Posh Lens. You have to update your app, and not everyone has it. I updated my app. I do not have access to it. If you have access and you go to like search up an item, I think in the search bar or like drop down somewhere around there should be like a little camera thing or something. There should be something that's different. And I think when you press that, that is your Posh Lens. yeah, and I think maybe even a camera. Yeah, I can't remember what they said it was. I did see an IG post about it, or an Insta post, that someone had access to it. Some people did in the comments, some people didn't. They were talking about what they thought about it, and there were quite a few comments of people saying it's not as accurate as Google Lens. And I think the most important thing for us to remember is that Posh Lens is only going to be searching posh listings. So if there's no items on Poshmark that match, they won't pop up there. And then I think also quality of photos might play into how well it works as well. I think how this is going to work is that if someone is out and they're shopping, or they see something that they like, they can put the Posh Lens on it and try and find similars. I think that's how it's going to work. But yeah, I'm really curious and kind of excited to give it a shot, see how it works. Maybe it'll work quicker for comp searching instead of having to go into Google Lens. But I've said this before, I don't really like comp searching on Poshmark. It doesn't tell you the price if the item was sold in a bundle. It doesn't tell you when the item sold. Like, there's a few factors that it's not the most accurate way to look up solds. It is something I do use here and there. I use my own kind of discretion deciding where I think the solds are. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it makes the shopper's experience better. Now, I think a very valid question we should all have is this going to impact the search algorithm, which is already a hot mess? I don't know. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll find out. Lots of people, actually, side note, lots of people have been saying their sales have like dropped off in the last week. Maybe that's the factor. Maybe it's the Posh Lens that's kind of messing with the search. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I just wish Posh worked how it did in 2021. Like, it's just been a train wreck, and it's all over the place. Sales are all over the place. I don't know. I try not to get emotionally involved in the app anymore. I just sell on it. Okay, on that note, we are going to head out of here. Let's do something fun. We need to set our June goals. It's the end of May. My May goals I did not accomplish. I think I was like, I want to list 40 items a week. I did not list 40 items a week. I maybe listed like 60 or 70 items in the month of May. Yeah, kind of disappointed in myself, but c'est la vie. It is what it is. I can't change it. I am going to be listing as much as I can, and hopefully this new system of how I'm processing my inventory will help me get my listings done and getting some put up every week. And I think, like, I do want to try and shoot for 40. Honestly, that's my goal. I want to shoot for 40. That's 20 a day times 2 days, which is usually what I'm listing. And yeah, or 2 days is usually what I have to list. I'm hoping to do 20 each day. So the only factor that could hold this up is I get busy, things happen, or I don't source enough inventory. But I'm trying to work on that. I'm sourcing a little bit different. I'm sourcing more brands than I used to. And yeah, I think it'll be okay. I think I can keep up with this. All right, guys, I can't wait to hear what your June goals are. What are you shooting for? Are you heading into summer slowdown? Are you stocking up your closet for, August, September sales? Because things are going to pick up. Even if they kind of slow down, things are going to start to pick up. And I like to use, I've said this before, I like to use slow times to build up my inventory. And on that note, I am at 363 listings. So my goal today is to list 7 more, and I want to be at 370 by the end of today. I can do it. I know I can do it. Oh my gosh, I felt like there was like not much to talk about, but we talked a lot. If this brings value to your reselling business, make sure to give me a thumbs up and tap subscribe on your way out. I'm wishing you guys all many sales, and I will see you next time. Bye.